Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All About Candles, and I have got the weekly wax wrap up for you. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you've had a great weekend. The weekly wax wrap up is a really quick breakdown of all of the candles that I finished burning this week, how they smelled, how they performed, etc. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to start off with this pumpkin apple candle from Bath and Body Works. I believe that this version came out last year. It had a cute lid on it with like some engraved sort of pumpkin abstract leaf type situation. It's better than just a plain old lid, right? Anyways, pumpkin apple. I am just trying to make a point here, folks. I went to the store with my friend last year, and she wanted to get this candle. And I said, girl, no, don't do it. Pumpkin apple never performs well, has never performed well, and probably will never perform well. And she was like, I really like it. It smells good, I'm gonna get it. So she picked it up, and then about a week later, she brought it over to my house, and she was like, this candle's not working. I was like, I know, girl. We were watching like Game of Thrones or something, and so we lit it and put it on my coffee table and just watched the PWS, the Puny Wick Syndrome, and I just kind of wanted to make it through this candle just to like prove a point. I'm pretty sure I took a video of how badly it was dudding out, which I will throw up right now. This candle, it took forever. It was just always small flames, small little blue flames. Takes forever to pool out. You never get a really deep wax pool, and so the fragrance never really gets to where you want it to be going. The scent notes on it are red delicious apple, fall pumpkin, fresh ground cinnamon, and clove buds. And it's a nice fragrance. It's a nicely balanced fragrance, and I don't mind the fragrance at all. But I tried this for a couple of years, and it just did not perform well. And so I quit buying it. Not a repurchase or a recommendation from me, folks. Has anyone out there ever burned a pumpkin apple candle from BBW that burned really great from top to bottom? I mean, this was such a chore to get through. It was, and I called it a day at this point. It was a clean burn, but it was just, it never really gets to burning properly, and so the strength and throw suffers because of that. I also finished up a brioche French toast. This was a Candle Day candle last year. This sort of collection had a bunch of gourmands in it. There was a white chocolate macadamia nut, hot pink cocoa, and something else. Oh, what was the other one? Caramel frappuccino. Yeah, and so this collection was nice for the gourmand lovers. The scent notes on brioche French toast are fluffy brioche toast, rich maple syrup, a dollop of butter sprinkled with cinnamon. And yeah, you absolutely get like a nice doughy, starchy, sort of fried bread vibe to this. It is quite syrupy, it is sweet, there's a little hint of cinnamon. It's a very like mid-range candle. Yeah, and it was a nice and strong one. However, I had a lot of like dirty burn issues with this. Look at the reason why it looks like that now is because I lamped it. The first half of the candle performed really nicely. I'd say that it was like a 6.5 or almost a 7 for strength and throw. But then I looked over at it and it was just getting really sooty and swirly and murky, and I saw soot coming off of it. And so I blew it out. I tried to light it again. Same issues after it pooled out. So it spent the rest of its life under the candle lamp in my kitchen, and I actually really enjoyed it that way. I'd say that it was a 7 in my kitchen under the candle lamp too. So yeah, not a 10 out of 10, not a repurchase for me. I also finished up Steve's Scoops from the Stranger Things like first wave of candles collection. I liked this one actually. The scent notes are vanilla ice cream, golden waffle cone, and parlor sprinkles. I think we're all pretty sure that this was a repackage of something that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. You guys know that I'm a hoe for vanilla, so I actually really like this. Have you ever been to a restaurant where they have a warm skillet cookie? Oh, those are my favorites. It's like a fresh baked like chocolate chip cookie in a skillet, and then they put a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. That's what this really smells like to me. Yeah, I really liked it, and it was a beautiful performer as well. Look at how clean and white that wax is. Absolutely no soot out there. I let this candle extinguish itself. I'd say that the strength and throw was a solid 6.5 in my more open area and about a 7 in the bedroom. Not a repurchase because I don't think it's coming back. Not a recommendation because I don't think you can buy it anymore. But if this does come out repackaged again of what it was originally, I would definitely consider repurchasing it. Yeah, really good performer, really nice vanilla candle. No big complaints for me on that. I also finished up Sweater Weather from Bath & Body Works. This is last year's like fall White Barn Core version of Sweater Weather. This comes out multiple times a year, every year now. The scent notes on it are fresh sage, juniper berries, aromatic eucalyptus, and fresh woods. Oh, I love this one. There's something very like smooth and mentholy about it. And the juniper, I always associate juniper with like a bit of a pine, a bit of a mint, a bit of a woodsiness. I'm really hit or miss when it comes to eucalyptus fragrances, but I think it's done really nicely in here. I think it's a well-balanced candle. It's got like a sort of cooling, minty, sort of icy vibe to it. And also a bit of a herbaceousness as well with that sage note. Yeah, I really like Sweater Weather. I buy a couple of these every year. I'd say that the strength and throw on this was like a 7, 6.5 or a 7 in my more open area. Definitely a 7 in the bedroom. However, the last like third of it performed really badly. It started getting a little bit dark, and I looked over at it and one of the wicks had like extinguished itself. And so then I tried to light it again with like my electric lighter and it wouldn't take. And so then I tried to light it again. I got a barbecue lighter and like really put a flame to that wick for a while and got it going again. But then it extinguished itself again. So I was just like, screw this. It went under the heat lamp in my kitchen and I really enjoyed it that way. It was, even with just this little bit of wax left in it, it was like a 7 under the heat lamp. However, I do think that this is one of those Bath & Body Works candles that has gotten weaker since like the first time that it came out, because I want to say the first versions of Sweater Weather were like an 8 for strength and throw, and these ones, the newer ones, I feel like are definitely maxing out around a 7. So that's kind of a bummer. Still a repurchase for me. Absolutely a recommendation. Not the type of candle that I think everybody would love. So if you're near a Bath & Body Works store, I definitely recommend smelling that one first before blind buying it. I also finished up Pumpkin Banana Scone from Yankee Candle. Oh, gosh, I'm not even gonna get into how ugly I think some of their jars are right now, Yankee Candle, because this was actually a really good candle and a really nice fragrance. I wish it had been a little bit stronger. So the scent notes on this one are on the top, cinnamon sugar, ginger snap, and apple spice. Mid notes of nutmeg, banana, baked pumpkin, buttercream, and cashew milk. Base notes of vanilla, malt, clove, and coconut milk. Yankee Candle with your scent notes. Why are you putting things in there that don't exist. Like, I do not pick up on cashew milk, coconut milk. I don't really get a malt vibe from this candle either. And the one scent note that I think is pretty prominent in this, they don't even list, which is like a peppery scent note. And I'm not confusing it with malt. There is definitely like a strong pepperiness in the top of this candle, along with like the cinnamon and the nutmeg. There's definitely a pepper. And then the mid-level is sort of more kitchen spice and banana. And then the base is like a nice, smooth, sort of like starchy vanilla. There's a definite like doughy, starchy breadness to this candle. And I really, really liked it. You know how a scone, even if it's a fresh scone, you know how scones are a little bit on the drier side? That's what this smells like a nice, fresh, peppery, crumbly scone. I like the fact that it's not really sweet. This is not a super sweet gourmand candle. It's actually quite authentic in terms of what a more savory scone would probably smell like. Just fresh out of the oven. Yeah, I really like this one. Performance on it was okay. This is a 20-ounce 2-wick candle. I would say that the strength and throw probably maxed out at about a 6 in my more open area, 5.5 or a 6. I think in the bedroom in a hurricane, I got it up to about a 6.5. I wish that this had been a 7. If this had been a 7 for strength and throw, I would be so impressed. However, I am impressed with it enough that I think this will be a repurchase for me, and I would recommend it to you as well. Yeah, this is a nice one. I also finished up Haunted Mansion from Village Candle. I love this spooky Haunted Mansion with the bats. It's such a cool label. I think my 2 favorite Halloween candles are actually from Village Candle. Haunted Mansion and Ghost Cemetery are both amazing. I actually started burning this last fall and then put it away for the season, brought it back out this fall, and finally called it a day. I burned it all the way down until the whole thing had liquefied and the wick nickels sort of traveled to the edge there, which is when I had to call it a day. The scent notes on Haunted Mansion are top notes of dark plum, red berries, carrot seed, and citrus zest, mid notes of rose, lily, clove leaf, and tulip, and base notes of patchouli, cedarwood, vetiver, sandalwood, and vanilla musk. Gosh, Village Candle does a plum note really well. They also have this candle called Fairy Dust, which is like an amber and plum candle that I'm obsessed with. And this is really, really an interesting one. I like the fact that it is a spooky sort of Halloween fragrance without being like a turn-off scent. You know what I mean? On the top, you definitely pick up on some berries and some plum. I do not pick up on carrot seed. I have never seen a carrot seed scent note before. I don't pick up on that, but there is like a smooth sort of dark plum, berry, and citrus note on top. And then in the base, you have a floral. It lists rose, lily, and tulip. I would never pick up on the lily or the tulip, but I do pick up on the rose in this, and it's not a very perfumey rose. It's more like a dried, sort of dusty, maybe like a potpourri rose note. And then on the base, you definitely have something a little bit funky, like a funky vetiver, a incensey patchouli. It's really good. It really hits the concept. I really, really like this candle. This will absolutely be a repurchase for me. I would recommend it to you. Strength and throw in a hurricane in a medium space is about a 7. It does get a little bit more lost in an open area. I'd say like a 6 or a 6.5. Village candles you have to be patient with. The strength and throw does vary a little bit based off of how long you're burning it, how the wicks are doing, all that stuff. You never want to trim wicks on a village candle. I find that the best way to burn them is to put them in a hurricane and let them go for like 3, 4, 5 hours. I do appreciate that you can let these burn a little bit longer than like a 3-hour mark. Yeah, Haunted Mansion, Village Candle. I love that one. I also finished up Strange and Unusual, which was part of the Halloween Beetlejuice collection from Goose Creek. We have got a young Catherine O'Hara on that label there. This is like the old Beetlejuice movie, not the sort of redone one. The scent notes on this are sweet roasted bananas, wafer cookies, and whipped vanilla cream. I really like this one, folks. Yeah, it's just a really nice like banana cookie fragrance. Not super complex, not super nuanced, a very mid-range banana bakery fragrance. It does remind me a little bit of Main Street Bakery from Bath and Body Works, except I actually think this is the better candle. It's a little bit stronger. The banana note is actually a little bit more natural, I think, in this one than it is in that Bath and Body Works candle. And also, this was a stronger candle as well. I'd say that the strength and throw on this was like a 7. It was a really good burn up until the very end here. I'm at about this point, which at that point, it started to get a little bit murky and sooty, and I had some soot happen there on the candle. However, it was basically finished, so I was fine with calling it a day. It was a good candle, good performer, 7 for strength and throw, no real complaints with that. I also finished up Carnival Praline from Goose Creek. This was kind of a weird one, guys. This really kind of missed the mark for me. The scent notes on here are warm pralines, toasted hazelnut, salted caramel, and vanilla. Now, I love a nice, deep, rich, like praline scent, but that is just not what this was. I do pick up on that sort of like sweet, almost like butter tarty kind of praline vibe. I wish that there had been more hazelnut in it. It is toasted hazelnut is listed here, but I didn't pick up on it that much. For the most part, this was really just like a light caramel candle to me. And it was so light, like I'm talking maybe a 4 or a 5 for strength and throw. Like I really had to sniff around to detect it. And so at the halfway point, I was just like, this isn't gonna get any stronger. So I put it into my candle crock in my bedroom and let it go off on there. And it still really didn't have much of a presence to it. Like maybe a 5 for strength and throw. And once again, it was just a really sort of generic light kind of caramel fragrance. Definitely not a repurchase for me or a recommendation for you. However, that was not as bad as this Angel Food Cake candle from Goose Creek. You guys, this is one of the most disgusting candles I've ever burned in my life. I'm just gonna say it. It was disgusting. I think there was something wrong with it. I hope that it was a batch issue. If someone else has burned this candle, please comment below and let me know what your experience with it was like. Obviously, Goose Creek, I have to buy on blind. There's no Goose Creek store near me. We all have to buy Goose Creek blind for the most part. And when the candle first arrived and I smelled it on cold, I thought it smelled all right. The scent notes on it are Angel Food Cake, vanilla cream, whipped cream, and soft pear. And when I smelled it at first on cold, it did smell like a nice, cakey, tiny bit fruity, sort of a sweet, cakey fragrance. I thought it was gonna be quite lovely. And so then I lit it up in my bedroom and I burned it, and I left the room for maybe an hour or whatever, went and got some work done, went back into my bedroom, and I swear to God, you guys, for a split second, I thought something was wrong. I was like, is there an electrical fire or something in here? I don't know what the heck this is, but once it had been burned, it was just nasty. I don't even really want to smell it right now. It's so gross. It smells like burnt hair or like singed plastic, like a very, very strong, gross, chemically smell. Like, oh my God, I would rename this candle Burnt Hair, with scent notes of singed plastic, burnt hair, and an electrical fire. That's like it. There's just something absolutely wrong with this candle. I don't know what it was. I hope it was a batch issue and that angel food cake is not actually supposed to smell like this as far as Goose Creek is concerned. I also finished up a salted caramel tart. This is a candle that I got at Michael's. They had like a huge fall candle sale, and I picked up this bad boy for $7.99. Regular Canadian price is $19.99, so I got a little bit suckered in by a good deal. Salted caramel tart, we don't get any scent notes on this, but I like this much more than, what is it, this Carnival Praline. I think that this is kind of what this candle should have smelled like. I definitely pick up on a saltiness. There's a nice caramel note in here that's not too sweet. It's kind of like a basey, slightly subdued caramel note, but I absolutely get that sort of like praline tart filling vibe from this, and it smells like a real nice flaky crust too. I was pretty impressed with this one. For a Michael's candle, it actually smelled really quite nice. And I think that I would repurchase it again if I'm in the store and it drops back down to a sale price of like $7.99. I'd probably give this one another go. It performed all right. I would say that the strength and throw was probably a 5. So that's not good, but my expectations are incredibly low here. So I'm saying it performed all right for a Michael's candle. I noticed right off the bat that the wicks were really too close together on these candles. And so it was like a 4.5 perhaps for strength and throw. And it took a really long time to pool out. But then I put it in a hurricane. This candle actually really thrived in a hurricane. I'd say that the strength and throw on it got up to a 6 in a hurricane, and it also solved the issue of like not pooling out properly. Now, I don't think that you should have to put a candle in a hurricane for it to perform properly, but hey, you know what? For $7.99, I'll take it. I've burned worse candles before this week. Trust me. Man, this angel food cake, I can't get over this. That was a weird one. Anyways, that's all I've got for you folks today. How's everybody's weekend going? My neighborhood is kind of busy right now. They're filming like a movie or a TV show or something in the park across the street from my house. And so there are trailers just lined up all the way down the street, like as far as the eye can see, just trailers, and nobody can get around properly. It's been a little bit frustrating. They do film lots of random stuff in my neighborhood, like the news is always filming here because there's a view of the city, and this park, there always seems to be like a movie or a TV show or something happening. And so I went for a walk about a half hour ago and like kind of snooped around and tried to see what was going on, but I couldn't see anything. They've blocked it all off pretty well, but it's really creating a little bit of chaos and noise in the neighborhood that I'm not thrilled about. I'm just chilling at home for the rest of the night, folks. Gonna have the boyfriend over. We're gonna watch The Penguin on HBO. It is so good. Ooh, I'm really into that show. And next week is gonna be Halloween week, you guys. So starting tomorrow, I'm gonna be reviewing a Halloween candle every single weekday until Halloween finally arrives. So let's get into the Halloween spirit, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another candle review for you. And until then, my dear, gorgeous candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.